From Season 1 to Season 5, the main Cobra Kai trio of Miguel, Robby and Hawk have come a long way in terms of fighting ability. I've made a video on why I believe they surpassed Johnny from Karate Kid 1, and I've made a video on them versus Mike Barnes. This only leaves Chozen from Karate Kid 2, which begs the question of how they would do against this version of Chozen in a fight. I also want to clarify that these will be one-on-one fights and not just all of them ganging up on Chozen. And the only reason I am including the entire trio rather than only one of them is that they are all relative to each other as stated in Season 5. I'll be analyzing their strength, durability, skill, and feats to determine who wins this matchup. And without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off is the center of this whole question, which is Chozen from Karate Kid 2. From childhood, Chozen was trained by Sato in the ways of Miyagi-Do karate, and by the events of Karate Kid 2 was skilled enough to fight off multiple members of the American military. Furthermore, it's stated on the back of the DVD covers that Chozen was a tougher opponent than Johnny from the first Karate Kid movie. This was demonstrated as Chozen incapacitated Daniel with a single strike earlier in the film as a warning to not insult his honor. However, Daniel does continue to train during his stay in Okinawa, which made their final fight much closer, with both fighters exchanging blows and with Daniel barely coming out on top with the drum technique. Although, to be fair, this did require Daniel to use all of his karate. As for Chozen's strength and durability, he was able to completely withstand Daniel's punches early in their final fight, even being stated to be unhurt, and in the film, it took Daniel multiple attacks to even knock Chozen down, whereas every attack Chozen threw was able to floor Daniel. By far Chozen's most impressive strength feat is destroying a piece off a stone statue, a feat that was calculated at 126 kilojoules. Now that we've covered Chozen, how does the trio stack up? To keep it simple, their skill level is absolutely insane, as by Season 2 Robby had learned everything Daniel did by the end of the Karate Kid trilogy. This isn't even taking into account the fact that Robby could also perform the two-legged kick. This would mean by Season 5, Robby should be far more skilled than he was in Season 2. With Miguel and Hawk both having won fights against Robby, and generally with all three being considered to be on the same level, it only cements the consistency of their skill. Furthermore, in Season 5, Miyagi-Fang were given an invitation to compete in the Sekai Taikai, an international karate tournament to determine the best fighters in the world. Given that this decision was made after seeing Hawk and Kenny fight, this means that they've reached an international level. As for the strength, Tori was able to shatter a stone at 411 kilojoules, though at the cost of her hand breaking, which could very well mean it's possible for the main trio to be unable to output this level of force consistently. In Season 4, Chris and Kyler were able to shatter stone slabs at 100 kilojoules. This would also mean that the strength of the main trio could range anywhere from 100 kilojoules to below 411 kilojoules. As for the verdict of this fight, I strongly believe it comes down to the difference in skill, to which I think Chozen is horribly outmatched, as Chozen lost to Daniel from Karate Kid 2 who was using the drum technique, and it was even described as something that Chozen could not overcome. With even a Miguel fresh off an injury being able to use the drum technique, as well as Robby in Season 2 learning everything Daniel did by the end of the Karate Kid trilogy, which would, mind you, mean a Daniel more skilled than the one who beat Chozen. This would only mean that the main trio has a huge advantage in skill. As for strength, I don't believe this to be a key factor in the fight, as they are within the same range of power at the very least. And with Daniel being able to win despite not being able to hurt Chozen at all at the start of the fight, really just further proves my point. Therefore, due to the massive gap in skill, Miguel, Robby and Hawk would all win against Karate Kid 2 Chozen individually.